shady political groups are trying to trick you into voting against your interests. 3 special interest groups, the Israel lobby, cryptocurrency, and AI, have wildly unpopular policy goals. So they're trying to hide their intentions from voters like you by disguising their political action committees and running ads that don't seem to have anything to do with their own policy goals. Let's look at the crypto industry. Their main PAC is called Fairshake, which spent over $14 million on Illinois primary races in March and has nearly $200 million on hand to keep dumping into our elections. Now, here's one of Fairshake's ads against Democratic Illinois Senate candidate Juliana Stratton, who is endorsed by crypto critic Elizabeth Warren, and whose main primary rival was strongly pro-crypto.
Who is Juliana Stratton, corrupt criminal Mike Madigan's hand-picked politician? That's who.
Even though it's paid for by a pro-crypto PAC, it doesn't even mention crypto. I wonder why that may be.
Stop Juliana Stratton. Fairshake is responsible for the content of this ad.
It doesn't mention crypto or her commitment to rein it in because her position is so popular. 65% of voters are concerned about the lack of crypto regulations and believe using it hurts local economies. The AI industry is following the same playbook. Their biggest spenders are Leading the Future PAC, funded by OpenAI's president and top investors, and Public First Action, funded by rival Anthropic. These PACs, in turn, have benign-sounding names like Think Big and Jobs and Democracy PAC. Anthropic's Jobs and Democracy PAC poured $1.6 million into a North Carolina congressional primary to boost incumbent Valerie Foushee, who's friendly to AI.
Valerie Foushee is standing up to Trump every single day. She's leading the fight to hold ICE accountable, pushing to impeach those responsible for raids on our neighborhoods and abuses of the Constitution.
Now, if you're watching this ad, would you have any idea it was made by a pro-AI group and that the group is backing her because she's friendly to the industry?
Valerie Foushee, fighting for our community every single day. Jobs and Democracy PAC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
You see, AI companies want politicians who will let them write their own regulations and keep building data centers, even though most Americans overwhelmingly oppose building new AI data centers in their communities. Finally, the biggest spender, the pro-Israel lobby led by AIPAC. These groups spent over $2.3 million in a single New Jersey congressional primary and a whopping $21 million in Illinois races. In Illinois, AIPAC constructed shell PACs with names like Elect Chicago Women, Affordable Chicago Now, and Chicago Progressive Partnership to further disguise their involvement. Now, look at this ad from Chicago Progressive Partnership attacking former candidate Kat Abu-Ghazaleh, who opposes sending military aid to Israel and supports a free Palestine.
Kat Abu-Ghazaleh says she's a progressive champion. But what do we really know about Kat? She moved to Illinois just 2 years ago.
I mean, this is getting ridiculous. There's no reference to the candidate's opposition to Israel or the group's own ties to AIPAC.
Who is the real Kat Abu-Ghazaleh? We don't really know.
The reason this ad doesn't even mention Israel is because 60% of Americans disapprove of sending military aid to that country. In other words, these groups are spending millions to deliberately deceive voters because they know they can't run ads that focus on their own policy goals that are hugely unpopular with voters. Instead, they rely on shady tactics and a broken campaign finance system to elect politicians they want, but are opposed to what most Americans want. The stakes in the 2026 midterms couldn't be higher. It's up to us to elect politicians who will fix our broken system and show big money that our democracy is not for sale. Please share this video to spread the word.